So for now, we're gonna move on. So the next part is to turn on its side and take off the little front piece here, which is called a front cover. Got all the gears exposed. It smells like transmission fluid. Got my tools all over the place. So now I'll also put some grease on this to help keep that from flash rusting anymore. Oh, those are 12s, okay. All right, those are loose-ish. Hopefully this can take care of this. They all appear to be the same, but then it wants me to pry probably right there. So we shall. Yep. There's a little tab right there to pry it on, and then this appears to just come right off. Cool. Is that a gasket or is that just sealer? Appears to be a very thin sealant. There's a seal in here. That's better. All right. Yeah. So we got a seal here, some kind of bearing here. I have to clean that up in a minute. I'm going to take that snap ring out, see if I can remove the shaft first. I'm entirely sure I'm supposed to get this out. There's no room. There we go. That's not what I thought it was. We're definitely gonna need a new one of these because I just damaged this one. All right, those are bearings. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Let's see. I get some pressure off of the actual shaft. I could spin it around, face this way. Maybe. Okay, good, doesn't spin. Just keep punching, I guess. Snap ring. So now, supposedly, I should be able to take this out. Maybe, maybe not. Hold on. It says there's 2 snap rings, and I only saw one. Oh, the outer snap ring. I see now. There's a bigger one here. Alright, so the bigger ones, I think, are just. And these will spin, so we need to hold on to it. Careful not to damage anything. There's the exterior one, or the big circle one. And that makes more sense now. All right, so then it wants me to remove the big shaft. All right. Somehow. Oh. So big shaft's gonna have to come out with this shaft because these are definitely connected. I appear to have to take all 3 shafts out. Okay. Okay, hold on. This doesn't make sense. Why would only those be coming out? Did I not need to remove that? Oh, I think I was supposed to leave the small snap ring in and just remove the big one. Also means that seal probably could have stayed in too. So there's another one holding this piece in. All right, there's the other ring. So now this entire thing should come out. Okay. That is not wanting to come out. I don't understand. Does this like need to be pressed out? And it's still on the rear end. Taking all this out. Taking that part, taking that off. Big ring. Come out along with the rods and the shift work. Okay, and then we need to hammer these, supposedly. So let's get the big hammer. It's coming out. That looks loose. Yep, they both look loose. Cool. Let's flip this up. And remove them. Oh, something came loose. Oh, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, I guess, then. That's the reverse gear. Okay. Something went flying that way, and I don't know what it was. My guess is a ball. Maybe this isn't completely loose. No, it's free. Oh. Okay, so this piece came out. On the forks, which appears to be the stuck part, because this fork is free, I think. Okay, so just carefully keep some things together, and fork. Just leave it separated. Okay. Let's keep these faced the same way. that's probably what fell apart, these little guys. All right. Yeah, that would make sense here. And there's one of the balls, probably for this one that fell out. That's probably what shot across the room. It's facing this way. Okay. Lost the orientation of that. We can figure it out later. Maybe this wasn't entirely free, as I thought it was. There it is. Just re-snugged itself a little bit, that's all. Nothing seems damaged here. Doesn't seem to be anything left inside of there. Okay. And I don't want to lose these bearings here, so make sure those stay together. This went in here. And then this ring went around in here. Let's scare. Did any of it survive? The spring came out here. Oh, those springs came out. So we're missing 2 balls. Alrighty. Which is probably what shot across the room that way. So apparently this guy comes apart. And that's spring loaded. Interesting. Might be in this box. I don't know where to put this. Maybe on top of that. I don't know if I can lift this. Well, for now. Oh, found one of the balls. Cool. Alright, now we're just missing 1, which could be anywhere. Kind of at a stuck point right now. Got a snap ring to remove out of this, and it keeps spinning, so I need to get a set of good snap ring pliers to get that out, which I thought I bought, but I guess I didn't, or they ended up somewhere weird. All that's left to do is to finish disassembling all this stuff and do a lot of measurements, figure out if anything's out of specification, then order parts as I need them. It definitely feels like a lot of progress. It looks a lot simpler once it's fully apart like this, at least in my head, than it initially appears. You know what? I think we can leave this together, because I can do all the measurements with it together, and if it needs replaced, I can take it further apart. Oh, that just comes right off. And this might differ from the diagram a little bit, actually. These are not the same piece. In that case, we definitely better keep it together. Oh, this makes a lot more sense, actually. So I don't know what we're measuring here, because it doesn't seem to have any... Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. That just barely fits in, which is within spec. Assuming I'm reading this chart right. Alright. I'm nervous to take these apart, because then I do have to make sure when I put everything back together, everything is within clearance spec. Which, again, this is my first time taking apart a transmission. Are these gonna fall apart? Oh. They don't. Okay, good. Stay together. That's really cool though. So let's put stuff in bags and stuff so it's out of the elements. If this was a sealed, climate controlled building, probably wouldn't bother with putting them in bags and stuff. But this is the outdoors where things get humid, and these parts are now exposed to moisture, air, and the outside, and any rodents that decide to scurry through here. So put in baggies to be safe. This is cast aluminum, so it's not going to rust. These pegs are steel. So I'm going to put a little bit of grease on those pegs. Keep any moisture off of them. This is all going to get cleaned up later, so. And in theory it's stainless steel or something like that, so it shouldn't rust anyways, but never know. I think what we'll do is I'm going to spend the extra 90 bucks and replace the clutch assembly. So for this next day I made a spreadsheet of all the parts that were missing, damaged, or worn. I might make a separate video that'll go over the details, but for now I'll give you some basics. Before I do that, I should mention that this series is not intended to be a how-to guide. However, there seems to be a lack of video information on NBs out there, so I'll share what I've learned so far. Ideally, all you need to order parts-wise are the synchro rings, bearings, seals, and gaskets. You can get most of this stuff in a rebuild kit. There are additional bearings hidden inside some of the gears still on the shaft. From what I remember, these were not in the kits I found online, thus I assume they may not need to be replaced often. I did, however, end up replacing all but one bearing just in case. Keep in mind the washers on 2 of the exterior bolts are called gaskets in the manual. These gaskets should be replaced. They're essentially crush washers, and there's possibly going to be 2 more on the drain and fill plug. I inspected the gears and clutches and found some unusual looking wear. Opting to replace these parts if I could find them, I ended up spending considerably more money on parts than I probably should have. Although keep in mind that my transmission was missing several parts to begin with, a previous mechanic's mistake it seems, just more parts for me to order. Also, in the manual linked below, which reminder is not the precise manual for this transmission, look at the assembly diagrams. Any part with an R next to it should be replaced if removed. For the most part, these include spring pins and snap rings. I did not realize this in time for reassembly and had to reuse some old parts. On the subject of snap rings, if you see an R with the word selective use next to it, you may be better off keeping the old part in most cases. A selective use part has a range of part numbers for that part. You have to pick the right one, dependent on the clearance to be within spec. If the clearance is out of spec, you will need to order a thicker version of that snap ring. I will hopefully talk more about buying the correct parts in another video, but just be aware that if you replace a gear or something underneath a snap ring, the clearance will be changed and you will need to buy a different snap ring that will correct that. Moving on, I tried to follow the manual to check different clearances before disassembling the shafts like I was supposed to, but my lack of advice and experience proved this task to be difficult. Honestly, I skipped over some of these inspections, but having learned a lot from reassembling almost everything recently, I could probably do some of the inspections correctly now, assuming I had the right tools, or I could at least learn. There are some marks on there, but not entirely sure if that's supposed to be. No, that doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. Those marks look pretty bad. The synchro gear doesn't look too bad. Does look a little beat up. Might as well just order all the synchros. Runs for 3rd gear here, so that's 3rd and 4th that go into the actual 3rd and 4th gears here and here. Okay. So these 2 gears are the ones that most likely have the most wear. And oh my word, is that 2nd gear? Compare it to a higher gear where there should be less wear. 2nd gear looks a little beat up. I don't know how much of this you're seeing because my light keeps getting in the way. What I'm looking at are not the teeth up here, but the part of this gear the smaller teeth in there, and they are, hopefully you guys can see that, they are slanted looking. Not the bronze, but the ones behind there. Those are pointy. Those are very much pointy. But when I look over on these, they're slanted. We'll see. Next gear would be first. First gear didn't have too many issues. I wonder if I should replace this part too. This worries me a little bit. These little markings on it. I don't think that's normal. This was for reverse and fifth gear. I don't know, that's pretty chewed up. And this piece is on there. Man, I didn't have problems with fifth gear. They had problems with reverse though, which doesn't. So now it's definitely lining up with that marking. I'm not sure. I'm not happy with the look of that. So let's look at pricing. Main shaft. Alright, so that would be one of these pieces. Which one's which? So it'd have to be this one, 3, 2, 1. So they should be front with the higher lip towards the front, which is this way. The higher lip towards the front, higher lip towards the front. Okay, so that is correct. Do I spend a lot of money? So it doesn't fully go into third gear. It's probably about there. Put weird torque pressure on this until it snaps in. Well, let me look at the other shaft. So when this spins, this spins. That's neutral. Cool. All right. And we have fourth here and third here. You know what? Those are also very slanted marks. Maybe they're supposed to be slanted like that. Sorry, my light probably really messes up filming quite a bit. Yeah, they're slanted. Okay, so the slanted is normal then. A little worn down tooth there. But all in all, it doesn't look bad. Pretty much everything on this intermediary shaft should be fine. Even the bearings, I mean, are just, they're fine. So I don't know if I'll replace anything on this. I guess it depends on how hard it is to replace stuff on this. Again, if you don't know how manual transmissions work, you have an input shaft that spins with the engine. The output shaft spins with the wheels. One of these little pieces move, and when they move, they make a connection to the different gears. So this is spinning still, but it'll travel. The motion will travel through this, transfer over to here? No, here. Yeah. So it goes from here into here, here, back to here, which we just connected to the main shaft, and then the main shaft spins with the engine here. These slide right over, and these are what are being controlled by the shift knob. So these move up and down the pole here to help select gears. Let's see how to measure these, and I believe this uses a regular caliper tool. Measure the shift fork thickness and the groove width of the club sleeve, and that is about 8. Definitely within spec. Right? No. Yes, no, wait. Huh? Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, so it's supposed to measure the clearance between this and that, not the actual. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that was for, I already lost track of which one I was using. And then we measure the clearance here by just saying this and pulling it out. That is 0.15, 16-ish. Way within spec then. 17, 16, 14. This is technically just in spec, I guess. Yeah, I mean, even it's wide, it's only in the 20s. So I'd say that part's within spec. 2.6, 2.4-ish. So a little more slop. What was the spec again? Where's the sheet? 3.5. Here there seems to be more slack than there should be. Hold on. I double check this is even right. Well, we're gonna call it good. So that part's fine. Might want to replace the oil funnel now that I think about it. Because, I don't know, if there's anything in the oil, like metal, wouldn't that clog up the funnel? Or maybe I can clean it out.